Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fireside Chat, a live session with our volunteers at Project Step One. Project Step One is a 100% volunteer-run free telemedicine service. We are a one-year-old initiative that provides free telemedicine to COVID-19 impacted patients across 16 states and India's 18 languages. We have touched more than millions of lives through 3 million teleconsultations. This has been possible because of our community of citizen volunteers, doctors, and of course, our counselors. Hello, everyone. I am Shruti Bharadwaj, your host tonight. And today with me, I have our citizen warriors, Rajyashree Dutta, Tanay Agrawal, and Vidyashankar AV, who are our Project Step 1 volunteers and closely worked with the group in different spaces to provide support in the pandemic. I will now request our panel of warriors to introduce themselves. I start with you, Rajyashree. Can you please introduce yourself to the wonderful audience?
Hi, Shruti. First of all, thank you so much for making me a part of today's session. It's been amazing, working with Project Step One for last 1 year. I mean, not exactly 1 year, but for around 8 months. And being able to be a part of today's session is, a true, matter of pride for me. So thank you so much for that. Well, I'm Rajyashree Dutta. Professionally speaking, I'm into brand and communication consulting, and so I have around a decade of experience in the same domain. But personally, I'm more interesting than that. I'm an avid reader. I like. Coffee. I love coffee. That I'm a coffee addict, I can say. I write. I'm an amateur writer, and I'm also a amateur fashion designer. So yeah, so that's about me in nutshell.
That's awesome, Rajshri. Thank you and welcome to Fireside Chat. I'm a
Thank
coffee lover too, so we can relate to each other. Thank you.
Cheers.
Tanay, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Shruti. First of all, I'm really glad that I'm part of the Step One family. It has been almost 8 to 9 months for me in this virtual family, I would say. I joined Step One during the month of August, and since then, it has been an amazing journey for me. It has been a good learning curve. Beyond that, my experience comes from consulting and operations background, and beyond what I do in Step One, my hobbies also include reading. I'm a passionate reader, and today I have my own book club. Around that, I also love cooking, and I especially like to reinvent the recipes which are there online. Also, I am into spirituality and philosophy. So these are my interests, and a journey has been, I would not say like happy journey in the pandemic, but it is really an adventurous journey in one sense. It's mix of happiness and thrill.
That's wonderful, Tanya. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Book club sounds really cool. I would also like to join one if you allow me to. Thank you so much. Vidya sir, can you please introduce yourself to the wonderful audience?
Sure. Good evening, all. Namaste to all. I'm a very happy, proud volunteer of Step One since the day number one, which started when it was founded by Rax Raghavendra Prasad. Called me at the early morning and asked me to basically help with doctor networking and registration for doctor volunteers. And in my day job, I basically try to manage a group of companies by name Abhinava. We started with medical events by name Abhinava Events way back in 2001. And I work in the space of doctors and healthcare professionals from last around 3 decades. That experience has counted me a lot in giving away some sort of services to Step One, and to continue that, I love traveling, trekking, and I love reading. I love cooking. Unfortunately, traveling and meeting people have become a huge, hindrance for me from last 2 years. But Step One has given me an opportunity to network with so many people who are next to God. They're all godly volunteers, priceless volunteers, and I'm very very happy to work with Step One.
Thank you so much, Vidya, so for introducing yourself and sharing your hobbies. I think three of you have so much in common. You all love reading. You all, I mean, Tanay and Vidya loves cooking too. And I love traveling and reading and cooking and I mean so many things I can relate to. Thank you so much, all the three of you. Welcome. And let's start by talking about your contributions and individual experiences. Tanay, let's start with you. You have closely, you've worked closely with the doctors onboarding and training in step one and have been with us for quite some time now, witnessing how we've been impacting and touching lives every day, right? So tell us, how has this journey been for you from the start, and what would you, what and how have you been helping Project Step One?
So let me begin with like how I joined Step One. So when the pandemic situation happened last year in the month of March, when the first lockdown happened, things were very uncertain at that time, and that's quite understandable. So a lot of courses people were doing, and I joined one course online, which was entrepreneurship in emerging economies, which was taken by Professor Tarun Khanna from Harvard University. And most of the case studies in that course were related to healthcare in India, Venezuela, Mexico, Bangladesh. So since the pandemic situation was on, a thought came to me like what we can do at this moment of crisis, which our country is facing and society is going through. So I started tracking my brains, and slowly I saw some posts on Step One on Facebook. One of my friends, Ragbi Bale, was connected with Step One at that point of time, and I reached out to her, and I started interacting with her, and then she referred me in Step One, and that's how I slowly got introduced to the team. I still remember that my first interaction was with Arun Patre, and he onboarded me with the team. So when I joined the doctor onboarding team, the first call was a bouncer for me. Like I did not understand a single term that day. Yet I tried myself best to be with the flow. Then I got mapped with one of the senior volunteers, Ankita, and I coordinated with her. The first state I was mapped to was Punjab, and I was very shy. Like I did not know how to interact with doctors, what exactly to speak to them, because I'm not from clinical background. And secondly, before pandemic situation, the only time we would reach out to the doctors when we were sick, right? And that's the only conversation we would have with the doctors. And this is something very professional over here. So I was very scared, like if something goes wrong and there's a what if there will be any repercussions on my side. So I initially interacted with doctors only on the WhatsApp chat, and the first doctor I onboarded in the Punjab group was totally through WhatsApp conversation, and the doctor was so generous that he appreciated me, and that gave me a boost. So that was the first conversion I had. Then as we started moving forward, uh, I tried to understand the process end to end, and since there was no flow, like there was no organized document over it, so I proposed to the team that okay, let me come up with a standardized document on onboarding process that would not only help me understand the end-to-end process, but any future volunteers who would like to join our team, they would also understand. So that's how I made the first doctor onboarding handbook for Step One. And since then, it gave me a lot of confidence, because now I know end to end what doctor onboarding means and how it's going to impact end to end. And after that, when I started interacting with doctors, believe me, some of the doctors would feel that as if I myself is an MBBS or BDS. Then I would frankly tell that no, I'm from a non-medical background, but that I would take that as a compliment, because it really gave me a good confidence to interact with them. And over a period of months, I think we have onboarded at least in my presence, I have onboarded more than 200 doctors.
Wow, that's really amazing and an inspirational story that you just shared with us, Tanay. And yes, I know I've read that book that you've written for Project Step One. The handbook. It has really made all the tasks really easy. Thank you so much for doing that for Project Step One. I think we have all come out of our comfort zones for Project Step One, and we've worked something different from what we do in our daily lives. Thank you. And do you have any story that you would want to share with us and that will remain in your heart forever?
Yeah, so there is definitely one story. There was this doctor in Punjab group. He was there into the system for like almost since the inception of step one, but he was not actively involved in taking tickets or calls of the patients. In fact, his account itself was not created. So when I joined Step One in the month of August, I started following up with all the doctors. Like, so it was like I was blindly following everyone in the landing groups and try to convert them in the active groups. So every week I would send one reminder message to this doctor that please follow XYZ steps, and he would just read it and would not reply. So it just went on and on like for almost 3 4 months. And by the end of October, he registered. He himself registered and he messaged me that I finally registered and please activate my account. And I called him and I congratulated him. So that was the first happy moment. And then I just did not believe myself that this one doctor in just span of 2 months he took 500 calls for step one. And again I reached out to this doctor and I congratulated him that for showing such zeal and enthusiasm. In fact, then he actually gave all the credit to me, and he started saying that thank you so much for putting so much faith and trust in me. If you would not have reached out to me again and again, I would not have registered with step one. So that actually gave me the confidence that okay, I'm not directly touching the patient's lives, but perhaps in some way or the other indirectly I'm in the part of receiving all the blessings.
Wow, that's an amazing story that you just shared, Tanay. Huge round of applause for your patience and for consistently doing what you had to do. So, Vidya sir, coming to you, you are one of the most active volunteers that we have. You know, you're active in all the groups. You're active in the marketing group. You're there in doctors onboarding group. You're there in other groups that we have. You're very very active. So, would you like to share your experience? And you've been involved in so many tasks and projects, Stefan. How did you get introduced to this?
Uh, well, thanks for that observation as well as compliments, Shruti. And as Tanay was just like narrating his story where he onboarded the doctor, the consistency and the perception towards getting the thing done or reaching the goal is one of the very very key factor to achieve anything. Just to compliment Tanay's efforts, and me and Rax worked together for a company by name Quickwell long back, and in touch continuously. He is my mentor in so many ways. Like I was definitely not at all a tech guy, and he introduced to me to the technology platforms in such a way that I learned the ABCD of the technology way back, like a decade back, because I come from a different background. Simple science graduate, and I just understand how to use a smartphone. That's it. So I think soon after the Prime Minister called for the Janata curfew way back, March 22nd or something like that. Next to 2 to 3 days, Rax called me in the early morning when I was just finishing my early morning walk and exercise. I was just wondering, like, why this gentleman is calling me at so early, because our usual talk is around 11:30, 12 o'clock in the midnight. Once he becomes as a workaholic, and I'm also into so many things. And when he called me and I picked up a call, he said that we have started one technology platform, and this is to fight against COVID and do remotely. I was just wondering, like, how basically I would be of the help. So he made me to understand that you have a good large number of doctors network, and you can basically cap your strengths. I said fine. So at 8 o'clock, I called up my godfather, Dr. Santosh Shons, who was the immediate past president of the IAP, Indian Academy of Pediatrics. He said he registered the first form, and he onboarded. And immediately by afternoon, I think IAP, Indian Academy of Pediatrics, gave an endorsement to Step One, saying that this is a very noble cause. They sent out around 25,000 SMSs, emails to their members, and it just turned into a group of doctors with a simple WhatsApp. Then it has become around 7,000 doctors loop of doctor volunteers. That's how I got introduced, Shruti.
Thank you so much, Vidya, so for sharing that wonderful experience. From one doctor to 7,000 doctors, I think we have come a very, very long way. Thank you for all your contribution. One question that I want to ask you is, how has volunteering with Project Step One changed your life? Because you lead 4 companies, so how has this changed your life?
Well, I'm a very strong believer of Indian philosophy. Indian philosophy has changed my life from my childhood. As I always keep mentioning two things to everyone: how basically a man and like a person from Indian background or Indian philosophy can give it to the society. We all believe that the six runas, like debts from the by the time we born up, So one is Pitru runa, Matru runa, Deva runa, Rushi runa, then Manushya runa, and as well as Bhuta runa. And I think every word is basically self-explanatory. Bhuta runa is basically to give away with nature, what is that you will give it back to nature. Today is World Earth Day, and I think there is a right quote where we need to preserve our own treasures, which nature has given to us without any fees. I mention this because everything has come to us completely free of cost. But what is it we are giving to? Trying to give back to the society which has given everything to you. So this is taught by my grandfather, and going ahead, I have always learned that one particular proverb from Indian philosophy, that is "Paropakarantam idam shariram." The body which is given by your pitru or the god is basically to utilize for the service of the mankind. It is just belonging to you to take care of that particular structure, nothing else. So with these two things, I'm so much impressed by Indian philosophy. And once I stepped into the step one, the day number one I learned is a person can help any citizen or any particular person across the country sitting at one place and not even meeting physically. It's a huge learning. The technology, the people, the processes have come together so well in a blended manner and has helped more than 10 million people to reach with the COVID-19 positive cases, mental health, then plasma donation, and as well as the home isolation monitoring. So it's a wonderful journey from last 15 to 16 months for me. I met wonderful people like Rax, then Smita, Siddhang, Tanay, Rajya, then Krishnan, so many people, Dr. Shuchin, Sandeep, Arun, they are wonderful people, and I don't know, how do they manage their day job? They are always answering in the group. They always try to call up and motivate the other co-volunteers. It looks like me a temple where we just need to go with the folded hands and say that it's a wonderful organization or initiation which is helping all the people who are suffering from this particular pandemic. This is a big takeaway for me in my step one journey.
Wow, wonderfully explained, Vidya. So wonderfully explained with the right examples. I think we are all very, very grateful for this opportunity that we have found through the platform of Project Step One to give back to the society. Wonderfully said. Thank you so much. Now, moving on to Rajyashree. Raja, you have also been with us for a long time now and helping us run our content and social media functions. You said that you're not you've not done that before, but you're doing a wonderful job. So tell us, how is your experience and learnings from volunteering here has been like?
Yeah, so thank you, Shruti. I think after listening to Vidyasar and Tanay, I am so inspired. So I think this is what exactly happens with me every time I talk about Project Step One. When the pandemic started last year, I think we became very close and became desperate about how things were going in our lives. And I think we got into this whole loop of desperation and wanting to get out of it. And I just feel so grateful that that was the time when I got to know about Project Step One. And I got to know about Project Step One through Siddhangana. She is also a volunteer in marketing. Everybody knows her. I had worked with her in an organization before, but we kept in touch. And she came to me one day and said that there is an organization which is trying to help everyone who's getting affected by the pandemic, and would you want to be a part of it? So she shared the links with me, and I said, okay, give me a few hours and let me go through it. So I went through it, and the moment I understood the concept of it, and of course she also explained it to me, I felt so amazing about it, because we are thinking about these small things about I'm not able to go out of the house, I'm not able to eat in a restaurant, but there is such bigger problems there are in the world, and this group of people are coming selflessly together and trying to make a difference in this particular situation. I think that itself made me so want to be a part of this organization. But then of course I didn't have the kind of skills that would make a difference here. So I said, how can I help? So she told me that we, of course, in the long run, it's not that we are going to be helping people now and gonna pack our bags. It's not gonna happen. So in the long run, we're gonna be going on helping people. So there is certain amount of marketing that is required. There is certain amount of storytelling that we need to do, so that people know about our philosophy, our ethos. And today social media is such a huge kind of channel, platform to do that. So maybe you can help us with writing and creating stories for the brand. So I said, okay, why not, let me try this. While I was not really into content writing, but I felt that why I should be able to try and use my skill some way, and in my capacity I should do try to help the organization. That's where it started. And I have to say that it has been so amazing, because as I said, there was this whole desperation about what will happen in the world, how we are doing so much, right? Every day we are doing this professional job, also trying to live our life. But then at the end of the day, what is the bigger goal in life, right? But then this being able to help someone who is out there, I think that that feeling itself gives you so much satisfaction. And while my role is just of a support function, not really, I'm not a doctor, I'm not able to really directly make a difference in anybody's life, the patient's life, but I feel there is some amount of activities that I'm able to do, so that somebody else's life gets little better, so that they get to know about our brand, they get to know about what we are doing, so that they can come to us. So I think this is really amazing. And one incident I have to really explain, mention, all this while we have been doing everything online, right? So we haven't seen all the faces that are behind the picture and everyone. I think, Shruti, I know I have seen you multiple times because we keep interacting, but otherwise there is very little interaction, face-to-face interaction. But the day we had our Warriors Day, right, the Step One Warriors Day, I think I saw so many people coming together, and the kind of energy that I saw, the kind of motivation that people have, the selflessness that people have, I think that really kind of changed my perspective of life. So I think it has been amazing, it has been fulfilling, and I really want to be a part of this journey as long as we go. And I'm sure we can go a long way. We will go a long way, right? We all together. Thank you so much again. Yeah.
Yes, Rajyashree, you perfectly mentioned that we are all strangers. We don't know each other, but we all have come together and we have made such a great impact in the country. And yes, we all together will sure go a long way. I think we all agree when I say that Project Stefan has given us an opportunity to spread our wings wider and wider. We've all been trying to do great things here. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, what we will do is we will quickly play a rapid fire round with our volunteers here. Let me start with you, Raj, because you gave me an excellent answer in the last segment. So let me ask you 3 questions. Please unmute yourself and be ready. You get only few seconds to answer. You will have to answer this within 3 seconds, right? Okay. Since you work for social media, favorite social media brand?
Apple.
Social media brand like Facebook, Instagram?
Oh,
LinkedIn or
I
Twitter?
would say Instagram because it's so much more about visual storytelling. Yes, Instagram for sure.
Okay. Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
Are you thinking? Okay.
Yeah,
Guilty pleasure.
actually,
What's
I'm a
what's
mountain
your guilty
person, but then
pleasure?
because I'm already in a cooler place, so yeah,
Beaches. Okay. So what's your guilty pleasure?
watching a girl with a dragon tattoo. Can you believe?
Aha. Okay. Thank you so
Yes,
much, Rajyashree,
thank
for being so
you.
sportive. Vidya sir, now it's your turn. Please unmute yourself. Okay. Reading or podcast?
I love both.
You can only choose one.
Okay, for my limitations, I think I'm going with reading. If somebody can help, I'm the most happy person for the podcast.
Ah, wonderful. Ice creams or chocolates?
Chocolates.
Okay, wonderful. One word for the youth.
Sorry,
One word for the youth.
one word. You focus.
Wow, excellent. Thank you so much, Vidya sir. Tanay, now it's your chance. Cycling or walking?
Walking.
Destination or journey?
Journey.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Wow. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys, for being so sportive and answering all the questions. I think this is one of the most amazing sessions that we have ever had. Three different people with common interest and with wonderful answers is all I can say. Before we close this session, Rashi, what is your take home message for the audience today?
Well, you know, I wanted to say that like there is this saying, right? Every drop makes the ocean. So I think everything that we do, like if we want to make a change in the society or anybody's life, or like anyway, I think we all should consider doing little bit, from our side. I think every bit counts. I mean, no matter where you are from, what you would do, what is your specialization. I think we all should be able to do little bit towards making a bigger change. I think that's what I want to say. So I want to say to everyone who's watching this session or who is gonna see this session that come forward, be a part of our efforts, because we know, like, I don't come from a medical background, but I'm trying to do a little bit. Everyone can. If I can, everyone can. So please come forward, join us, and together, only being together, we can fight this situation that's in our hands. So please come forward. So that's what I want to say.
Thank you so much, Raj. Vidya sir, what is your message for the audience?
Well, our message for audience is like, हम काली हाथ से आए, हम काली हाथ से जाएंगे. So in between, whatever you feel has to be good for yourself and for the mankind also. And in this Kali Yuga, Sange Shakti hi, like once the five fingers comes together, then only it will become the feast, and you can make festival out of it. So please, I am requesting all the citizens of India and abroad watching this and access to our website or the call number or even the Google form. When we come together, help us and let us win over this unprecedented pandemic. The bad days will roll up and the good days will come back once you all come in and work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vidya sir. Tanay, what is your message?
Every crisis in the situation in the history of the world has led to the phase of very nice, beautiful inventions. For example, today we are using internet and computers, which actually happened after World War II. Like that, this pandemic situation is very stressful and anxious and giving anxieties all across, which is understandable. But at the same time, there's a flip side where it is actually laying a foundation for a golden hope and a golden future, and that's what step one is actually working towards, which is giving hope across the nation to the people who are looking for the help. So I urge all the viewers, whosoever is watching us, if you have any of the skill sets, you can just log on to our website, come to us, approach us, and we all are there working like a virtual family. Let's make a joint effort and let's get this pandemic done over, and let's see that golden future again where we can see more beautiful inventions coming out of this pandemic.
Thank you so much. And yes, as appeal made by my friends here, request citizens across India to volunteer with Project Step One by logging into www.projectstep1.org. I repeat, please log into www.projectstep1.org. Each one of us can make a difference as we embark on our next phase of COVID fight with vaccination and post COVID challenges. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today in this chat. And our next episode will be on the Friday, 26th February. Sorry, yes, 26th of May. And we will continue our discussion with our doctors about COVID-19 management and home isolation. Meanwhile, do leave your suggestions and queries in the comments to help us make this fireside chat a much, much, much better session. Thank you all and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
very much,
Shruti.